There are faces that seem to capture an entire moment in time, an era condensed into a single glance. For a generation growing up in the early 1990s, Christopher Pettiet was one of those faces. If you were a kid navigating the hallways of junior high or high school as the world shifted from the glossy 80s into the alternative 90s, you knew that smile. It was the smile of the older brother you wished you had, the rebel with a hidden heart of gold, the boy next door who carried just enough danger to make him unforgettable. He embodied a unique pre-grunge, post-Brat Pack coolness, part surfer, part skater, part rocker, wrapped in an approachable sweetness. In the summer of 1991, he was everywhere, the charismatic star of a cult classic that would define countless sleepovers and movie nights for years to come. With his looks, talent, and effortless charisma, Christopher seemed destined to be one of the defining actors of his generation. His name was being whispered alongside River Phoenix and Christian Slater. But the promise of that golden summer eventually gave way to shadows. The hopeful image etched into millions of memories was replaced by a story that ended quietly, far from Hollywood's spotlight, in a lonely apartment. This isn't just the tale of a young actor's downfall. It's a reflection on the pressures of an industry that creates idols overnight and abandons them when the pedestal collapses. It's about the battles fought when the applause fades. How did the boy who embodied the effortless cool of the early 90s lose his footing so completely? The answer lies in a quiet tragedy, a cautionary tale and a tribute to a bright, vibrant light extinguished far too soon. A star born into a cultural shift. To understand Christopher's rise, we must return to the early 1990s, a transitional era. The polished, materialistic 80s were giving way to a rawer, more authentic mood. Glossy synth pop was being drowned out by Seattle's grunge guitars, and Hollywood reflected that change. Teen films moved away from John Hughes's suburban angst and embraced outsiders, slackers, musicians, and underachievers. A new kind of idol was in demand, sensitive but rebellious, soulful yet mischievous. River Phoenix embodied vulnerability, Christian Slater oozed rebellious charm, and a young Leonardo DiCaprio was just beginning his ascent. Christopher fit this moment perfectly. Born February 12, 1976 in Dallas, Texas, he was athletic, excelling at skiing but also drawn to performing. His mother Helen recognized his gift. Together, they made grueling drives from Dallas to Los Angeles for auditions, a testament to their shared commitment. In Los Angeles, Christopher trained with actress Kelly Williams, who became not just his coach but his manager, mentor, and lifelong supporter. With her guidance, he began booking commercials and landed a guest role on Doogie Howser, MD, starring Neil Patrick Harris. Then, in 1991, everything changed. 1991, the breakout year. Christopher's career ignited with 3 roles that made him one of Hollywood's most promising young stars. Most fans remember him as Zach in Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, opposite Christina Applegate. As the charming fast food worker smitten with Sue Ellen, he grounded the film's romantic subplot. His performance blended humor, sweetness, and slacker charm, making him the ideal 90s boyfriend. While the film was modest in theaters, it became a cult classic on home video, cementing his place in pop culture. That same year, he appeared briefly but memorably in Catherine Bigelow's adrenaline-fueled Point Break. As the cocky young surfer whose board Keanu Reeves commandeers, Christopher added authenticity to the surf-skate vibe of the era. Finally, he secured a regular role on ABC's The Young Riders as teenage Jesse James. This demanding part required horseback riding, period dialogue, and emotional depth. Over 2 seasons, Christopher proved he was more than just a heartthrob. He was a serious actor. By year's end, he graced the pages of teen magazines like Tiger Beat and Bop, adored by millions. At just 15, Christopher Pettiet was living the dream. The life of a teen idol. Through the early 90s, Christopher worked steadily. He guest-starred on Star Trek, The Next Generation in the High Ground, delivering a moving performance as a young boy scarred by war. He appeared on Baywatch and the acclaimed Picket Fences, showcasing his versatility in both comedy and drama. Yet being a teen star came with unique pressures. Life on set meant tutors instead of classrooms, scripts instead of football games, and adult responsibilities long before adulthood. Child actors carried the unspoken burden of staying relevant, of bridging the treacherous gap between teen idol and adult star. Many faltered. By the mid-90s, Christopher was still working, but the breakout roles became rarer. Hollywood struggled to see him as anything beyond the charming teen. He turned to smaller independent films, including Against the Law, 1997, and his final film, Boyhood's End, 2000. These showed his growth as an actor but lacked mainstream visibility. It was during this period of uncertainty that darker struggles emerged. The silent battle with addiction. The details of Christopher's descent into substance abuse remain private, but those close to him confirmed his struggles in his late teens and early 20s. His sensitivity, the very quality that made him a gifted actor, left him vulnerable to self-medication amid career uncertainty and isolation. Kelly Williams, his mentor and manager, fought tirelessly to help him. She spoke publicly after his death about her attempts to get him into rehab, describing him as a wonderful, wonderful boy. Her words paint a picture not of neglect, but of a desperate, loving effort against a powerful disease. Addiction is not a moral failing but an illness. For Christopher, the pressure of maintaining a confident image clashed with the private reality of his struggles. He was caught between who he was and who the world expected him to be. April 12, 2000. On April 12, 2000, Christopher Pettiet was found dead in his Los Angeles apartment. The coroner ruled the cause as an accidental overdose involving multiple substances. He was only 24. Unlike some celebrity deaths, his passing wasn't sensationalized. Instead, it was quiet and deeply sad. For those who remembered the bright smile of Zach in Do Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead, the news was a gut punch. A young man who once had everything died with very little, another life claimed by addiction. A systemic failure. Christopher's death highlights the entertainment industry's failures. Child actors were often treated as miniature adults, expected to handle fame, rejection, and finances without meaningful psychological support. When careers stalled, many were left adrift, ill-equipped to cope. Christopher's story mirrors those of River Phoenix, Jonathan Brandis, Brad Renfro, and Corey Haim, talented young men who burned bright before being consumed by addiction and industry neglect. His tragedy forces us to question whether these are isolated cases or evidence of systemic exploitation. Legacy beyond tragedy. Though his life ended too soon, Christopher's legacy did not. Kelly Williams established the Christopher Pettiet Scholarship Fund at Center Stage, LA, where he once trained. The fund helps aspiring actors pursue their dreams, turning his story from pure tragedy into one of hope. This act ensured that Christopher's name would be remembered not only for his death, but also for his contribution to the future of acting. It reflects the passion for performance that defined his life and provides opportunities for others to follow the path he once walked. Remembering Christopher Pettiet. Christopher Pettiet's story is not a simple morality tale, but a complex narrative of talent, vulnerability, and systemic failure. He was a son, a friend, and an actor whose work continues to entertain those who grew up with him and new viewers discovering him today. For a short, bright, unforgettable time, he was magic. His smile defined an era, his performances touched millions, and through the scholarship in his name, his spirit still nurtures young talent. Christopher Pettiet was more than a cautionary tale. He was a reminder that behind every idol is a human being, deserving of care, protection, and compassion.